Set 2 will be played on Whirlwind. Spawning in the top left-hand position is the blue Protoss player from KT Rolster. His name is Stats.
His opponent is a yellow Terran from CJ Entus on the top right-hand position. His name is Bbyong from CJ Entus.
Indeed. Bbyong doing his best in the individual leagues. His Pro League record is, something remains to be desired for him there. Stats, though, very good in Pro League, and haven't seen too much of him in the individual leagues. He's never won a title or anything like that, but we have seen him, occasionally, pop here and there through the tournaments.
In Starcraft 1, Stats does lead against Bbyong 2-0. In Starcraft 1, 2-1, with Bbyong being behind against Stats. However, their last encounter was back in April 21st of this year, and Bbyong did take a game off from Stats. Stats, of course, went to the MOG Spring Championship last week and got the 9th place, and also he made it into the Challenger League for his WCS Korea Season 2.
Indeed. So, yeah, a lot of these Kesper players nowadays are moving up the ranks into the Challenger and Premier League. They're the ones that I think have the most rigid training environments and practice schedules and practice partners, the resources. So, it's kind of only natural that that happens eventually over time.
Now, it's been 35 days since Bbyong's last match in Pro League. His last match was actually back in June 3rd against Soki. He did make it into the round of 16 and is fighting an all-Terran group right now.
Yeah, a lot of good Terrans in the group. All right, it looks like a lot of Protoss nowadays against Terran are favoring a single gas expand. Just getting out a fast militia core, potentially making the Zealot if they feel like there's going to be an engineering bay block. Got some foreigners in the crowd there watching the games. Always good to see them in the studio there.
Of course, Stats going to queue up the Zealot just to make sure that he's gonna move down the ramp with a single probe, and he's gonna check if there's an eBay block or not. If there is none, then he's just gonna cancel the Zealot, get the Nexus down, and it's like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Expansion going up here for Stats. This fan goes pretty sure they were talking about strategies, what's going to potentially happen in the game there. I don't know why they had their sunglasses on inside, though. That was a little bit weird. And, ooh, double Reaper opening here from Bbyong. And, on this map, perfectly acceptable, interesting position for a pylon, though. That almost indicates that Stats either wants to trick his opponent or wants to go for some type of proxy play after this expand build.
Well, for now, we're going to have to see how Stats plays this one out. If it's going to be a proxy, it's most likely going to be a tech, but with Stats scouting this direction, we might even see a Stargate, because he made the pylon before scouting where his opponent is, indicating that he wants to hide a tech over there, not some building that he can build units off of. So we might even see a Twilight Council being built in that particular position.
Yep, we've been seeing a lot of Twilight tech recently today. KT players enjoying their food on the bench there. Second probe being sent out as well. Maybe he's going to actually... I don't know what he's going to do with that exactly. Maybe he wants to place his proxy tech somewhere else, because this location may not end up working for him. We do have the factory on the way for Bbyong behind this expansion as well. Stalker going to skirt away the Reaper and does not scout that pylon there. So that's actually pretty lucky for Stats.
Yeah, but remember, Stats is sending out the probe. It might be for scouting, it might be for proxy. Sorry, Go Rush, there's no watermelon in this particular mix.
Go Rush really loves watermelons.
Then again, Go Rush is not casting the second game on Sunday, so it's all good.
That's true. He casted the first match, not the second.
So the probe just scouting around in that particular direction, and it's being really sneaky right now, so we're going to have to wait and see what he decides to build. But Bbyong, of course, he is a Terran player. He's playing hard of the Swarm. He is going to make Hellbats.
Yeah, indeed he is, and he's getting a few Hellions before this, trying to prevent those Reapers from getting into the high ground here. And let's not forget, there's a few Marines as well. That could be up here as well. The 3 gateways are scouted as well. That's actually pretty important here, that that many gateways are seen by the Terran player. This may force him on the defensive here, and Stats is going to have a lot of units out to defend against any potential timings as well as do a counterattack should he feel like it.
Yeah, in fact, he's going to go for 4-gate, and I did hear this from one of the fans that's close to the KT roster. Stats said one of the okay builds that you could do in StarCraft 2 is go for the 4-gate after the expansion, and while applying constant pressure, you get a third Nexus of your own. And look at this! Bbyong does not have any defense back at home. He only has 2 Hellbats.
Bbyong actually doesn't have anything here, and the Stalkers combined with the Zealots are going to just rip apart through a lot of these units here. The rest of Bbyong's units out of position. Stats also adding an extra pylon near the base as well. SCV is off the mineral line. Regardless of this engagement here, we're going to see Stats come out with a very good lead, adding an additional Stalkers to the mix as well. Even the Hellbats in the back with the Medivacs, are they enough to stop Stats' attack from working? The SCVs on the low ground will get picked off here. And the command center as well could end up being pretty low on health here. As long as Stats controls this properly, then he should actually be able to win the game. He's already managed to kill up to 12 workers behind this. Stats now up almost 20 supply over his opponent. Time Warp going down as well. There's almost no anti-air. The deal with the Militia Corps in addition to this too. The Stalker's just moving up forward. Doesn't want to be too over-aggressive here, but I think he has just enough to finish off the last of those Hellbats.
And this was a perfect build by Stats. He hit it just before the Medivac and the Hellbats finished, such that his opponent cannot go for the harassment. And his opponent does not have the bunkers up in time and the defense up in time to defend against the 4-gate.
What a smart opening from Stats here. This is what happens when Terran players get a little bit too greedy. GG is called. KT Rollster taking 2 games back-to-back as Stats wins quickly with a 4-gate after expand build against Bbyong. And yeah, what a smart build. I love that he did that, man. Just pretty much countering the popular playstyle of Terran, being very offensive early on, but skipping out on defenses, and he hit perfectly right before the Hellbats were able to actually drop in his base.
Like I said, Stats, he did mention this build some time ago, except I never saw it in Pro League until today. Going for the 4-gate, applying pressure into the quick third base. Except today, Bbyong just did not have enough defense, and Stats realized that he can finish the game with proper micro.
Indeed. So the score now 2-0, KT Rollster ahead of CJ Entis. And we're going to be moving into this third set momentarily here. That's going to be Zest versus Hydra, a PvZ on Naros Station of all maps. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back after this commercial break.